Steve, I mean, that was a game that was mad, bad and dangerous to know. How do you assess it?
Well, listen, I think they started better than us. They forced us into a shape, a change. We'd worked on some of it a couple of days this week, so not like England, not for 20 minutes, but more than that. And we made that effective change, and then I think we controlled the game. And you know, I think we're 3-1 up at half time. Perhaps you look at situations, could have been more. Second half, we know we're going to get reaction from Peterborough United. We don't think it's going to be an own goal though that gets them back in the game. Obviously that gets the fans up here. I've been here, gets them to have a little bit of momentum. But then we can see the sloppy corner, and you know the big boy is decent up there. As Birmingham found it, as our teams have found it, so he wins it. And then I think the game's end to end. We had to tactically change it, pushing their tails up. They're better than us then. As soon as we changed it, we became the better team. You know, Jordan should slip one of our boys in to go through one-on-one. Cohen Bramall should score. He's inside the box with a free strike at goal. Isapa should do better right at the end. His Numbi's a penalty. It looks a penalty to me at 2-2. He's chopped the boy and he takes his standing leg. Referee says no, but I'm not allowed to raise my arms and appeal for it. So, yeah. We go home. We are certainly the more disappointed of the teams, but I think we're starting to show a little bit that we'll be where it matters and at the top end of the table when time tells.
Given the circumstances and the chances that Rotherham didn't take, does it feel like 2 points dropped?
Oh, of course, when you're 3-1 up, it's 2 points dropped. You just talk about no conceding in the first 5-10 minutes as well as being a threat at their end of the pitch. We got sloppy in the build up to the get corner. And then it just comes off your off. I think he gets a little nudge, but there's no complaints. Happens in every box. That makes it 3-2. And I said then these are young players that Darren's got that'll play with a little bit of fear. They'll play with fear at, you know, perhaps at 2 and 3-1 to us, but they didn't play with fear. As soon as we changed shape and I brought Cohen on, I brought Jack on, I think we stopped their pockets of possession and we countered really well. And listen, if it's based on clear chances, we should win the game at the end. But we should win the game. When you're 3-1 up, you should win the game. But pleased that we've come away from home and we've displayed the spirit, even at the end, to get a point and try and win it. It's not been here for such a long time.
How do you address the defending from set plays? We'll come on to the chances in a minute, but that must give you some concern.
Well, Posh changed it. The first one, Posh changed it. They sent an extra man in. You know, if you do your analysis in this league, it was an extra spare body. They certainly had in the box before we could react with a goal down. We did have a reaction. We had a brilliant reaction. We had them peppered at one stage. Joe Rafferty, I can't help. Joe either heads it clear or it comes off him, goes into net. That happens. And you know, when you're 6'7", you're always going to win a head on the opposition box. But we denominated marking, denominated something in front of him. Listen, he gets above our player and scores. I'm less disappointed with that, him winning a head on our box, than what I am when we counter here and we're going 3v1, 4v2. And we don't go and get a strike at goal. And I thought, if any player, Cohen Bramall's been really good all week, played really well. I think he was the best player on Tuesday. And when that ball broke through him in the box, I thought it was a certainty to go in the far corner. And he just come across it. But that happened. I'll tell you what we did here. We come here, willingness to fight and have an effort. And I think the supporters will go home disappointed. We're 3-1 up. I'd be disappointed as a supporter. But I think you say that's the Rotherham United that they followed in the country prior to 2 years ago.
Given the volume of chances that you created, obviously scoring 3 goals too as well, how much does that give you heart that the team are starting to just kind of go through the gears, if you like, in that sense?
And we're still here with the big players. They can shout about the players they're missing. They're missing 2 midfield players. We're missing Kelly and Raggett. They're huge players for us, huge players. And so from that point of view, we're bringing kids on that was on their doorstep like 2 months ago. We can't concern ourselves with them. We concern ourselves about ourselves. I'm concerned about the set play discipline, and we shouldn't concede 2 of them in such quick succession. I'm really pleased with the structure when we made the changes. People would say Malik was on a yellow card, and he was displaying signs of tiredness, which it only takes that referee who doesn't give, like I mentioned, the Numby penalty claim, but it doesn't give us a penalty, so you're always running that way of the line. Holmes has been excellent, outstanding, so we brought him on. And Cohen always gives you a spark, argumentative reasons why perhaps he should be starting games. So, but we'll go away. We'll all be disappointed tonight and tomorrow. We'll come in early on Monday, and we'll go through it with the players as if we'd win here or lost here.
Jonson Clark-Harris appeared to get injured whilst celebrating. What's the latest with him?
He felt a twinge in his hamstring when he struck the ball, so nothing to do with his celebration. In fact, it was muted with it because he's respect for the Posh fans. But he just felt it. I think on assessment, we're hoping it's not too bad, but we had to make the change when somebody does that. You can't send them back out, and that affected us as well because we had really worked on a structure Thursday, Friday to affect the central midfield players, and Jono was playing a big part in that. And it changes slightly when you introduce Jordan because he's not worked as disciplined as Jono has on it.
Just finally, you mentioned Raggett and Kelly. They're back in training and were maybes for today. How likely is it they'll be back next week?
They'll be available. Whether I choose to put them in is up to me and the staff, but we'll see what they're like on the training ground. Liam Kelly was at the yesterday, Raggy, so they're big players, but we've got big players here. If we defend properly today, we've come away and scored 3 goals at Peterborough. If you'd have said that to me in the summer when you go to Peterborough United and just score 3 times, you're going to win, aren't you? You're going to win. This is a team that's known for technically passing through you. They've never done that today. It's 3 set plays. That's the disappointing thing is we got the coach.